Good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television, where we bring you the top developing news stories from India and across the world at lunch hour. My name is Aishwarya and these are the headlines. Supreme Court Bar Association to meet to discuss the controversy over senior judges publicly airing their grievances against the Chief Justice of India. BJP accuses Congress of playing politics over an internal matter of the judiciary. Enforcement Directorate conducts searches at Karti Chidambaram's properties in Delhi and Chennai in the Aircel Maxis case. Investigation concerns a Foreign Investment Promotion Board approval granted by then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram in 2006. Harvest Festival of Lohri being celebrated in North India today. Makar Sankranti and Pongal to be celebrated tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu extend greetings. US President Donald Trump says US will extend relief in sanctions to Iran for the last time, but says that US and Europe must fix Iran nuclear deal's terrible flaws. And India to take on South Africa in the second test match at the Centurion today. Parthiv Patel, KL Rahul set to make a comeback. India faces a do-or-die situation after losing the first test in the series in Cape Town. The BJP on Friday night criticized the Congress for stepping into the controversy triggered by 4 of the senior-most judges of the Supreme Court yesterday. The ruling party said that the issues flagged by the 4 judges were essentially an internal matter of the Supreme Court. BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra further said that parties should not politicize issues of judiciary. His remarks were a reaction to Congress President Rahul Gandhi stating that the concerns expressed by the 4 Supreme Court judges are extremely important and need investigation.
भारत पूरे विश्व में सर्वाधिक लोकप्रिय लोकतंत्र के लिए, मजबूत लोकतंत्र के लिए जाना जाता है और जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल स्ट्रक्चर है, स्कीम है, जो संवैधानिक स्कीम है भारत का, उसमें न्यायपालिका अर्थात जुडिशरी का एक सशक्त और एक इंडिपेंडेंट स्थान है। आंतरिक विषय जो न्यायपालिका के होते हैं, जो जुडिशरी के इंटरनल विषय होते हैं, उनको सड़क पर लाके राजनीति करने का प्रयास जो कुछ राजनीतिक पार्टी के लोग कर रहे हैं, वो अनुचित है। यह विषय न्यायपालिका का आंतरिक विषय है। अटॉर्नी जनरल ने अपना मंतव्य रखा है। इस पर किसी प्रकार का डोमेस्टिक पॉलिटिक्स अर्थात घरेलू राजनीति और वह भी निम्न स्तर की राजनीति कभी भी नहीं होनी चाहिए।
And the Supreme Court Bar Association will meet in the evening to deliberate on the press conference held by the 4 top Supreme Court judges. On Friday, Attorney General had said that the situation could have been avoided. He also said that the issue should be resolved soon via talks.
As the president of the SCBA, I will try to ensure that the stature of this court is restored to its position, and if not restored, in fact, becomes even better than what it was before this crisis happened. There is a crisis of credibility, and we will have to play a very proactive role in ensuring that this credibility crisis is resolved.
On to the other top story of the day. The Enforcement Directorate today conducted searches at multiple premises linked to Karti Chidambaram, the son of Congress leader P. Chidambaram. The searches are in connection with the Enforcement Directorate's money laundering probe in the Aircel Maxis case. Official sources said that the searches are being conducted in Delhi and Chennai since early morning today. The Central Probe Agency had conducted similar searches in the premises of a relative of Karti Chidambaram and others in the case on 1st of December last year. Now, the ED case pertains to the Foreign Investment Promotion Board approval granted in the Aircel Maxis FDI case in the year 2006 by the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. The ED also alleged that Karti has disposed of a property in Gurugram which he had allegedly rented out to a multinational company to whom FDI approval was granted in 2013. ED also charged that Karthi Chidambaram had also chosen he'd also closed certain bank accounts and attempted to close other bank accounts in order to frustrate the process of attachment under the PMLA.
Officers told me they believed that Mr. Karthi Chidambaram was occupant of this house. I told them that he is not the occupant of the house. He is a resident of Chennai and I am the occupant of the house. Since I had a search warrant, I said I have no objection. You can search, but I will record my protest that there is no scheduled offence. Consequently, there are no proceeds of crime and the ED has no jurisdiction to investigate under PM.
All right, let's get all the updates. Ravindra Singh Shivran is joining us on the phone line for more details. Ravindra, now P. Chidambaram's Chennai and Delhi homes have been raided by the Enforcement Directorate officials. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, the raids are in the early morning today conducted in the various locations of Mr. Karthi Chidambaram's residence, which includes Delhi, in the Johor Bagh area of Delhi and in Chennai as well. A press notice also was issued by the Enforcement Director in this, to summon Mr. Karthi Chidambaram. On the earlier occasion, he could manage to skip the appearance before the ED in the same section in this case. The Enforcement Director is investigating, as you know, that the circumstances in which this...
All right. We seem to have lost contact with our reporter there. We'll try to connect back and get more details on that story. Let's move on in the bulletin now. The Election Commission has set up a panel to suggest amendments to a provision in the election law barring campaigning 48 hours ahead of the polling. Now, the EC move comes following complaints that it has failed to keep pace with information technology. The panel will be headed by Senior Deputy Election Commissioner Umesh Sinha. It will have 8 other members from the Election Commission. The committee will have 1 member each from the Law Ministry, IT Ministry and the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, and 2 others will be from the Press Council of India and the National Broadcasters Association. The committee will submit its report to the poll watchdog in the next 3 months. The poll panel accepted that Section 126 of the Representation of the People's Act does not take into account the revolution in communication technologies. The move to set up the committee came in the wake of controversies over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's FICCI meeting, Rahul Gandhi's TV interviews and the release of BJP manifesto, all after campaigning had ended in the state of Gujarat. And India has registered a significant decline in under 5 child mortality rate. The Health Ministry has said that the rate of decline has doubled over the past year. Now, as per the sample registration system of data, the under 5 child mortality of the country has come down to 39 per 1,000 in 2016 from 43 in 2015. Now, in a tweet, Health Minister JP Nadda said that the results signify that the strategic approach of the government is yielding dividends and that the efforts of focusing on low-performing states are paying off. He stated that India, with the current rate of decline of under 5 child mortality rate, is on track to meet the Sustainable Development Goal target of 25 by 2030. A statement by the Health further said that most of the states have shown good progress in the reduction of under 5 child mortality from the previous year, except Chhattisgarh, Delhi and Uttarakhand, which have shown a slight increase over the previous year. Telangana has shown no change in 2016. And a robust performance by the manufacturing sector took industrial production growth to a 17-month high of 8.4% in November. However, retail inflation proved to be a dampener as it also touched a 17-month high of 5.2% in December. The manufacturing sector, which constitutes 77.63% of the industrial production, recorded a growth of 10.2% in November as compared to a 4% figure a year ago. Among the other sectors, pharmaceuticals clocked the highest growth of 39.5%, followed by 21.1% in computer, electronic and optical products and 22.6% in the automobile segment. Retail inflation, on the other hand, rose to 5.21% in December on the back of rise in prices of food items, eggs and vegetables. The retail inflation was 4.88% in November. In December 2015, it was 3.41%. Now, the higher figures have dashed hopes of interest rate cut in the near future. The RBI has been asked by the government to keep inflation at 4% plus or minus 2%. The rise now beyond the comfort zone will put pressure on the central bank not to cut interest rate. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 22nd National Youth Festival on Friday via video conferencing. Now, addressing the event, the Prime Minister said that his government wants to encourage the country's youth to become innovators and job creators. Now, referring to the centre schemes like the Mudra scheme, Skill India and Startup India, the Prime Minister said that there are enough platforms to help young entrepreneurs think out of the box and begin something new.
Calling on the youth to become job creators and think out of the box, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday assured them that the government is willing to handhold them and help them set up startups. The Prime Minister spoke to the students of Gautam Buddha University in Greater Noida via video conferencing during the 22nd National Youth Festival to coincide with the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekanand.
हम स्वामी विवेकानंद की उस बात को याद करते हैं। वो कहते हैं, युवा वो होता है जो बिना अतीत की चिंता किए अपने भविष्य के लक्ष्यों की दिशा में काम करता है। आप सभी युवा जो आज काम करते हैं, वही देश का भविष्य की दिशा तय करता है। और इसलिए आप जो आज संकल्प लेंगे, वही सिद्ध होकर देश को भी अपने संकल्पों की पूर्ति के लिए तैयार करेगा, सिद्धि प्राप्त करेगा।
The 5-day National Youth Festival is themed Sankalp Se Siddhi to capture the vibrancy and fresh perspective of the youth and to pledge to accomplish the goal of New India. Later, the Prime Minister also addressed the inauguration of National Youth Day and Sarv Dharm Sabha in Belgavi, Karnataka.
स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने कहा था, ये भारत तुम मत भूलना, तुम्हारा जीवन अपने व्यक्तिगत सुख के लिए नहीं है। ऐ वीर, गर्व से बोलो कि मैं भारतवासी हूं और प्रत्येक भारतवासी मेरा भाई है। विवेकानंद को मानना है तो भीतर से जाति का द्वेष, जाति भेद का जहर निकाल कर बाहर करना होगा, खत्म करना होगा।
Since 1985, Swami Vivekanand's birth anniversary is celebrated as the National Youth Day. Born as Narendranath Datta in an aristocratic family in West Bengal on the 12th of January 1863, Swami Vivekanand was a major force in bringing Hinduism to the status of a world religion in the late 19th century. He introduced Indian philosophies of Vedanta and Yoga to the Western world, and after his 1893 speech at the World's Parliament of Religions in Chicago, he was called the messenger of Indian wisdom to the Western world. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Congress President Rahul Gandhi is holding a meeting with the senior party leaders in Delhi today. The meeting is being held to review the ground situation and discuss the poll strategy for the upcoming Karnataka Assembly elections. The Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and other Congress leaders of the state are also attending the meet. Proposals related to outreach programs that can be rolled out in the state will also be discussed. And the festival of Lori is being celebrated with great pomp and show in North India today. Now, one of the first Hindu festivals of the year, it is essentially termed as the festival of the farmers, the festival of harvest, whereby the farmers thank the Supreme Being by lighting a bonfire and asking for God's blessings. Originally, Lori was celebrated the night just before the winter solstice. It used to mark the coldest night of the year, which was followed by the longest night and shortest day of the year. Now, Lori is being celebrated today, while Makar Sankranti and Pongal will be celebrated tomorrow. The President Ramnath Kovind has greeted the people on the occasion of Lori, Makar Sankranti and Pongal. In a tweet, President said that these festivals are associated with harvest and are a moment to celebrate the hard work and enterprise of millions of farmers of the country. He expressed hope that these festivals will bring joy, health and happiness to all. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said on Friday that nationalism is uniting every individual irrespective of caste, creed and religion. He was addressing a gathering during a Sankranti celebrations in Nellore in Andhra Pradesh. The Vice President said that Makar Sankranti is a celebration about our association with the nature. It is the time to remember our ancestors and elders who have sacrificed many things to give a better life to the next generations. Vice President also presented medals and awards to artists and sports personalities on Makar Sankranti. Now, quoting tall leaders of Telugu literature like Sri Gurdaja and others, the Vice President said that serving the man is like serving God. And in midday news, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news.
Landslides are predictable, preventable and controllable, provided you have the scientific bent of mind in looking at it. We talk about prediction of those landslides which are every year occurring. It's the water pressures, the poor drainage, which is the cause of slide. India must have its own agreed, standardized, uniform classification system, methodologies of hazard mapping and all that. Without it, we can't understand anything.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Rajendra Kumar Bhandari, Chairman, Forum for Disaster Mitigation at India National Academy of Engineers, New Delhi, only on Rajya Sabha television.
The Indian Institute of Management Bill 2017.
All these Indian Institute of Management postgraduate diploma holders face many difficulties world over while registering for PhDs and other research facilities because it is not a degree, it's a diploma. अब इनको जब ये national importance का status मिलेगा तो ये degree दे सकेंगे.
Before I was elected to this August House, for 14 years I had the privilege of being a faculty member at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. So it is a matter of great pride and joy to see a bill coming through to elevate the status of not only IIM Bangalore, but other Indian Institutes of Management to status of institutions of national importance.
Creating an institution, building the structure of the institution in bricks and mortars is comparatively easy. But to inculcate a very vibrant institutional life in an institution is very difficult. And I believe autonomy plays a key role in the art of institution building.
Welcome back after the break. Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will arrive in India on Sunday for a 6-day visit. Netanyahu will land in New Delhi on 14th of January with a business delegation and hold talks with the Indian leadership. Netanyahu will also inaugurate the 3rd edition of the annual Raisina Dialogue on Tuesday. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will also be a part of the inaugural session of the 3-day-long event, which will see a series of high-powered panel discussions on geopolitical issues. The Israeli Prime Minister will also visit Agra, Ahmedabad and Mumbai during his visit. Agriculture and water are major strategic cooperation areas between the two nations, and India is aiming to expand the cooperation in these areas. And India has extended a fresh financial assistance of $45.27 million to Sri Lanka for upgrading its Kankisanthura harbour into a commercial port. The agreement in this regard was signed on Wednesday between the Export-Import Bank of India and Sri Lanka's Ministry of Finance. The harbour's rehabilitation is being done in 6 phases, out of which 4 have already been completed under India's grant assistance. The fresh assistance will be used for the remaining 2 phases for rehabilitation and the construction of a new pier by the Indian authorities, handling and installation of port infrastructure facilities as well. The KKS port, which connected Jaffna Peninsula with the rest of Sri Lanka, was destroyed by the LTTE during the civil war in that country. A top international focus, the US President Donald Trump says that he is extending sanctions relief for Iran one last time so that Europe and the US can fix the nuclear deal, which has terrible flaws. The waiver he will sign suspends the US sanctions on Iran for another 120 days. The landmark Iran nuclear accord was signed between 6 global powers and Iran in the year 2015. It saw Iran agree to reduce its nuclear activity, and in return, decades of international and US nuclear-related sanctions were suspended, and the US president now must sign a waiver suspending them every 120 days. Now, Donald Trump, in a statement on Friday, said this is the last chance. The United States will not again waive sanctions in order to stay in the Iran nuclear deal. The White House wants EU signatories to agree permanent restrictions on Iran's uranium enrichment. Now, under the current deal, they are set to expire in 2025. Iran foreign minister has said that it was a desperate attempt to undermine a solid deal. European diplomats have reasserted their commitment to the deal.
The European Union has had and expressed a very clear position on the nuclear deal, as it was stated by the 28 European Union member states ministers already in October last year, and repeated again today. The deal is working. It is delivering on its main goal, which means keeping the Iranian nuclear program in check and under close surveillance. The European Union remains committed to support the full and effective implementation of the agreement.
And let's get you some more international news. Here is the World Wrap. US Ambassador to Panama, John File, has resigned, saying that he no longer felt able to serve President Donald Trump. John File, a former Marine Corps helicopter pilot, said that he was honor-bound to resign. The US Department of State said that the resignation was not a direct response to Donald Trump's alleged use of foul words to describe Haiti and African countries. The African Union has demanded an apology from US President Donald Trump after his alleged offensive remark against the African nations. The group's mission in Washington, D.C. expressed its shock, dismay and outrage and said the Donald Trump administration misunderstood Africans. The US leader made the alleged remark in a Thursday meeting on immigration. However, Donald Trump has denied using the language reported. At least 18 people have been confirmed dead in mudslides in California as officials admit the window is closing for other survivors to be found alive. 4 children are among the dead and the authorities believe 5 people are still missing. Evacuations have been extended as more than 1,200 emergency workers continue to search mud as deep as 15 feet in places. Drones, military vehicles and search dogs have also been brought to help with relief and rescue operations. Nepal has joined hands with China to offer internet services to its citizens. The move has ended India's decades-long monopoly of the Himalayan nation's cyber connectivity network. Nepal Telecom and China Telecom Global launched their services after they wrapped up the laying of optical fiber cable in between the two nations. The Nepalese officials say that this will give them an alternative to India for cyber connectivity and ensure uninterrupted connections. On to some sports news now. India will take on South Africa in the second test match of the 3-match series in Centurion in a short while from now. South Africa has won the toss and has decided to bat first. Lungi Ngidi will make his debut for the Proteas in this match. Team India will be aiming to assert themselves against the hosts after being defeated in the first test match by 72 runs. KL Rahul and Parthiv Patel are making a comeback into the side. Ishant Sharma has also been included in place of Bhuvneshwar Kumar. The match is scheduled to start at 1:30 p.m. And that's it in this edition of news. But before we go, here are the glimpses of a significant moment for women in Saudi Arabia. The kingdom, for the first time, allowed women to spectate at a football match, which is kingdom's #1 sport. And for the first time on Friday, elated women fans filled into a stadium in the city of Jeddah. This marking, among others, a series of reforms intended to modernize the country. We'll leave you with these visuals. Thanks for watching.